Flavor Country. Got my coffee. Okay, we're ready to go. Yeah, so I hit record, and of course the garbage man shows up right when I hit record, banging dumpsters and backup beepers and all that. So, okay, so now he's done. It's time to get after it. So we got the Beast of the Yeast, big old reverse channel letter glowy cabinet. If you were around for the OG Il Corso, I think you guys were. Not the cabinets we just made, but the original letters. We got white out the front, but you got red out the back. So we have to kind of make like an Oreo cookie double stack kind of thing, so that way we can isolate. You got to keep it separated. We can isolate the red from the white because we got the push throughs and all that. So with that being said, let's get after it. Let's do a little lay of the land. We got the main face, and then we got what I call the struct cabinet, the struct cabinet. So this is all the framing parts for that, and then the jiggies to hold all that together. And then this is the struct cabinet face. This is the interface that'll have, that's where all the LEDs and stuff will go. Show you that. And then on the back side, we have the mounting clips that will actually hold the face. So these parts here hold the face. And then this is just to close up and give some structure to the backside. We're going to do this out of 063. I'd like to keep it 063. I understand it's probably, well, I have 09 on the table or whatever, but I'd like to keep it, thin to win, try to keep the weight down. So this will be the backside of the struct. The main backer, this will be 09. This is what gets painted. That's what the LEDs bounce off of. You got your 1/4-inch plate for your brackets. You got 3 normal size brackets, and then you'll have one little shorty guy here. He's just as tough. He's just a little shorter. You have a pretty cool F1 track here, Formula One. Kind of, this is like Circuit of the Americas or something. But yeah, so you got polycarbonate. That's for the red. Thankfully, the mountains got switched up, or the mountains. This got switched up to backed up. This was pushed through, but it was a nightmare. And there's your pushies for the Beast of the East, and then your backers there, your 1/8 inch. There's a pattern that make sure that gets rolled up and put into the box. So anyway, first off, apologies. I couldn't do it any shallower. 4.5 inch around this boy is going to be a little tough, especially around here. It's going to be tough to do the reverse channel. I tried to smooth out some of the stuff, but kind of just kept that. So we can just blame it on Andrew. Thanks, Andrew. So you're just going to go ahead and do your studs, get your returns laid out, and then you're just going to reverse channel it like you would. So weld that to that. And then that's going to be the main face. So let's go over here to like this side view guy here. So that's all. It's just going to be 4.5 to 09, and you're just going to do that. So that's that part. And then it'll just be push throughs when you're ready. And then the struct box. So this is where all the funk is. So you're just going to work your way around. I know it's a lot of pieces, but that way, just, follow the words, follow the letters all the way around. And you're just going to tack it all together. And then you have your verts. Your verts are 5/16 steel rivnuts, but they're out the back. I just duplicated them and have the holes there just because I didn't have the patience to try to figure out which way they face or whatever. I just kept it the same, symmetrical, so that way, but just follow which way they go. And then you only need the rivnuts out the back because that's what actually, attaches. So this is your struck box here, right? So that's the inner part that you're making. So that's the framing you're doing right there. And then that's the face. And then that's that 063 light boy on the backside. So that's the main struck box. And then the face attaches to that reverse channel letter style. So yeah, so you're just going to do 5/16 out the back, ignore the front holes. And then just work your way around, and that's your struck box. And then once you have that done, you can put the backer, no particular order. You can lords the backer on, and then the main front. And then the main front actually sticks over a little bit. And then that's where you're going to rivet on. You can just rivet. You're going to work your way around, and you're going to rivet these bad boys. And you can see where little guys, so I have 9 of these are typical. So the typical guys go here and there. They go where they don't fit on the straights. So essentially you have them all here, and you have them all on this side. So you got 5 on that side, you got 2 up here, and then you got 2 here. So you're just going to rivet those on the underside of your struct face. and then that's going to be your tab. So this side gets riveted, this side hangs down, and then you're going to clamp the little nubbins, and the little nubbins are your tabs for your racetrack. So all these holes here, and this has to be removable. If you rivet it, you'll never get at the letters again. So that's the whole point, because you can see where it comes around. So you want to go ahead and just use your number 10s from the backside, and then that goes on last. So that's, let's go back up here. That's your sandwich. So what you're just bending up and riveting to the backside of the struck face is the magenta. You know who you are. That's that. And then that'll be your racetrack there. And that little nubbin is where you put your number 10, your little shorty. So all serviceable. And then that way as well, we get the red LEDs to fire in like we do to bounce. Sure, if you put these on this side, but you get that chatter, you know we will. So this way we try to get rid of that chatter. Also, the backer, the main backer here, way down at the bottom, make sure that it needs to be not shiny. Pass it on to paint. If paint's watching this, usually they don't, but you know, it makes me sad. But all my hard work. So just make sure you pass it on. That way it doesn't, it has to be matte, because it's definitely going to have that LED problem. So that's that. I think you've got that pretty much nailed to that point. Oh, so then mounting. Okay, so you get the struck box made. Here's your struck box ready to go. You don't need to have the LEDs on there yet. But the whole idea is I have it set up depth-wise. Just grab yourself some 3x whatever, 3x something, and just as long as it's 3-inch tall, you bonk it. So bottom it out onto the bottom of the face, and then slide the struck box in, and that should set you up for success. And then just work your way around. And those little weird pieces you riveted on, that's what actually holds the face. So don't be shy to throw some screws. That's literally going to hold the push throughs and all of the 4.5-inch all the way around. Those screws are what's going to hold this up. So let's make sure that you got plenty of screws, especially along the top here. Don't be shy, and make sure this thing doesn't want to fall down on anybody. It looks like it will be kind of a pain in the booty for the screws on the bottom, but hey, we got to do what we got to do. But there's not a lot of clearance. But if they need to take the face off for any reason, they probably will just have to take the whole thing off of the mounting, brackets, because if you can't get to that screw, it is what it is. Or there's an option that it just depends on, we're not installing it, Mammoth homies are installing it. So there's a possibility that maybe I would prefer, maybe they did it this way, where they bring it to the ledge edge, and then the backers lined up, and that way they have, screw accessibility. That'd be nice, but all depending on how they want to do it, but that's up to them. So, but there's a 29-inch ledge that this thing's going to sit on, and then your brackies go there. So let's talk about brackies. You want to make sure that these face out. These are going to get 5/16 riv nut as well. So 5/16 riv nut inside of this recess, and then that way that'll be flush. And then you're going to slide this little nubbin through. And you know how I like to have my signs be self-supporting. That way they're not relying 100% on the hardware. So these little holes here, you're going to have these little guys poke out. That's going to support the backer, the whole backer there. And it's also going to support the sign. And you can see where those go right there. And that's on the struck back right there. See right here? So these guys are what's actually going to hold the sign up. So that way this whole, 150 pounds, whatever it was, isn't being supported just solely by the screws. The backer, I just noticed this though. Of course, when I go to make my video, the reason why I just hit you up if this thing was routed yet or not, I noticed that I didn't have these guys on the backer. So we need to add that. Hopefully it isn't routed. I haven't looked at my text yet, so we'll see. If not, we'll probably have to throw it back up there. Sorry, route, and then actually just reroute that. Get those holes in there. So not reroute it, but get those holes routed in there. So won't be too bad of a deal. So anyway, so get these welded up really good, super strong. You got your bottom plate there. The bottom plate is the same for everybody, but you have this little shorty guy here, and you got the three tall guys, and then these guys poke through and burn it up. But just make sure your island fills are facing out. That way, the riv nuts are facing out, and then the whole idea is that these riv nuts are what initially hold the backer on. So the guys can go put the backer on first and let it sit there, and then they can go ahead and nail that down with these holes right here, boom and boom, right? And then the the struck backer has clearance holes for that. Then you slide this whole struck box on there. This clearances those holes, and then they can go ahead and frap down the using the 5/16 here. Those 8 bolts will hold this on once they slide it on there, and it creates a little sandwich, and they'll be coming through these holes to get to the backside of that struck box. So anyway, so it should be nice and solid. Just depends on what they use to actually put this up there. But anyway, that's on them. Hopefully they do some nice toggles, or they can find some studs or something. So anyway, and there's your pattern. Make sure that, again, make sure that gets put in there. Oh, when it comes time to do the pushies, it's not that big a deal, but you can see where this sort of, you can kind of see it. It's funky. Like this A is not the same as that A. So this is all AI when they did it. So this font is funk. So that's not that. I think these are the same. These should work, but check the M's and everything. So when you go to put this together, be ready for some funk there. So have a sharp eye. And then, yeah, so you're just going to do red around here. And then in here is all white. And then hopefully there's no light leaks between the two, so where we get pink or something. So that's the whole point. So nice red on the back. Again, make sure that's nice and flat. And then some white on the inside, backed up, pushies, all that, looking good. All that needs to get, yeah, the pushies and stuff definitely need to get to first shop. They're going to have some fun with all this, getting this all fired up. So anyway, so I think that's it. I think you guys got it figured out. So if you have any questions, though, hit me up.
Check the technique. Check the technique. See if you